Jupiter lived in the Yacht Haven Marina for nearly 8 months while we were working in China. Every second month or so we would come across for a week or two, do some maintenance, and then go sailing. Yacht Haven was a serene and peaceful marina. It was great to be away from the rat race which can typify Phuket Island. But with maintenance done, it was time to go sailing to see the beautiful limestone karst islands of Koh Phi Phi and Phang Bay. The most famous beach in all of Thailand must be Maya Beach, made famous by the movie The Beach. It was closed in 2018 for rejuvenation, scheduled to open in 2021. But there was plenty other places we could explore. One geographical feature of this area is known as a hong, and that is a bay inside the island with a narrow entrance, sometimes just a cave. Some of them are deep, some of them are shallow. This one was just deep enough to get Jupiter inside, but the rudders were only centimeters above the rocks. Beautiful, clear water. That's even better. After spending a few days exploring the hongs and the lovely islands, we needed to get to our friend's birthday party, where we were going to raft up boats and celebrate. As the sun was setting, we sparked up the bonfire, and then it was time for crab racing.
That's mine.
Come on!
Why?
No, the Filipinos are on the trot.
The rules are simple. Draw a 2-meter circle in the sand, put the crabs in the middle. First across the line is the winner.
Come!
This won't make
Are you?
He's gonna go around the
Do not disturb. Come here, come here.
¿De quién es este?
Nobody's.
It's not a horse.
Come here.
El mío se ha quedado en el centro, chicos.
There, go inside. Oh, there.
Martín,
Venga, vamos.
What happens to the other? Oh,
Not only does Phuket have spectacular beaches and islands, but it's an adult Disneyland at nighttime. But most of all, we love the food. My buddy Arta joined us as crew, and we sailed north for a few days up to the island of Phayam. Phayam is famous for the Hippie Bar, which is a restaurant made entirely of driftwood and tied together with rope. Check this place out. Hi, I wanted to tell you about a problem that I've had on Jupiter with these very popular and reputable switches for high current switching, namely from my alternators to the batteries. This one is electric driven or remote operated, so it has some circuitry in it, but the problem's been the same. I've had two manual ones that have failed as well, and what's happening is that they are overheating. This one is rated at 600 amps continuous. I think it's 1500 intermittent or cranking. And the contact plate gets so hot that it melts the plastic that it's sitting on. And I've had ones that have welded the contact, and with this one has just melted the plastic, and the plastic's covered the contact, so it no longer makes any contact there. Now the reason, I can see the shiny part of this contact that is being rubbed, in other words the part that is making contact with the studs, and it's about 4 or 5 millimeters of shine. Now I'm only ever using maximum 160 amps going through this for short periods, normally less than 100 amps going through this, yet it's rated at 600 amps continuous. But this is the battery cable that is recommended for around about 200 amps there. It's a 11 or 12 millimeter, it's a 50 millimeter squared cross section, yet it's running through this part 4 or 5 millimeters. No wonder it gets hot, overheats, and melts the switch. These are a 200, at least $200 US switch. The manual ones are a bit cheaper. But very disappointed. Have to try another alternative. Okay, so I'll tell you what I did do. I took that battery switch out of the circuit, and I found that I was getting a whole lot more amps out of my alternator due to the resistance in that switch, and it would get hotter and more resistant and hotter. I was losing amps out of my alternator to charge my battery. So have a look. All I've done so far as a temporary measure is just bolt my cables together. Now I cannot easily disconnect them, but the increase in the current going into my batteries is almost double due to being no resistance. This does not get hot. That other switch was getting hot and blocking all the current. So, tech tip for the day. If you have battery switches like this in between your alternator and your battery, when you're charging, have a feel of the switch, see if it's getting warm or maybe even getting hot like mine was. And that means there's high resistance in there. I suggest you undo the battery cables and put a bolt in there just temporarily. Tighten it up tight, make sure the lugs are clean, and then see what sort of amperage you're getting into your batteries. Along the same line, check all your connections. You can feel them, see if they're getting warm. And obviously I'm only talking about 12 volt systems here, or DC systems, not AC of course. Make sure your battery lugs are shiny. Get some 320 grit paper and give them a rub, clean them up nicely. It makes all the difference. Remember, knowledge keeps you cruising. Tune in next time for when we set sail to Sumatra, Indonesia.